And we are back. Everybody, welcome to another week of Five Guys on Live. We have a lot to talk about. Gentlemen, welcome back. Joining us tonight in the fifth seat is the one and only national diversity and inclusion expert, Zach Thomas. He is filling in for our brother Vince Ashton, who is busy away selling many cheesecakes a day at Ann Cheese and Lenox Mall and engaging in so many other amazing endeavors. We can't wait to have him back. But while we are waiting to have him back, we hope that he is masked up and vaxxed up and being safe from the Delta variant of the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, gentlemen, it has been stated, hold on. It has been stated that we have had a number of cases that have been deemed as breakthrough cases. For everyone who's out there watching, I want you guys to weigh in on this. Absolutely. We are going to do some dragging today, but before we do the dragging, we are going to hopefully do some saving and some vaccinating. When we talk about these breakthrough cases, it's stated that there are 10,262 of the 101 million people who have been vaccinated with breakthrough cases. Gentlemen, I'm actually inclined to say that I don't actually believe that. I want to go on record today and say that I, Zachary Kirk, believe firmly that the number is a lot higher. And let me tell you why I believe it's higher. I believe that we have more breakthrough cases because I am seeing people say they've contracted COVID-19 and they've had the vaccine. If you only have less than 1% of a vaccinated population actually having breakthrough cases, then the chance that I would know 5 people or more, or have seen and witnessed 5 people saying that they've been vaccinated with breakthrough cases, it wouldn't happen. That is statistically unlikely to have occurred. So that makes me say with full confidence that the numbers may be bigger. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on these breakthrough cases and what we may need to do as a country to get this under control, if anything?
I agree with you, Zach, actually, and I think that number is actually low. I think it's higher than what they're saying it is. People need to get vaccinated, honestly, and people still need to wear a mask. I think even if you are vaccinated, I know Savannah, believe just issued a mandated mask required, depending on the store location that they go to. I will also say this. I just came back from Texas, and while we were out there, we had to go to the emergency room. Everything's okay. But one of the nurses was saying that half of the hospital was filled with corona patients because they were not getting the vaccine and they don't believe in getting the vaccine, and that no one in Texas is wearing masks. When I say nobody was wearing masks in Texas, nobody was wearing masks in Texas. And she said about 70% of their patients now are diagnosed with the coronavirus.
I don't know, Zach. I don't know that we can take your statistics as having statistical significance, because we know that you have, thousands and thousands and thousands of people on your platform. So maybe you do have a major part of the.
I claim it. I claim the future that is to come. I claim it.
You know everybody, Zach. So it's highly likely that those numbers are accurate. I don't think that the government, who is still urging people to get vaccinated, would be trying to paint a lesser picture of what it actually is. And I think that messages like that, sometimes it can just get twisted, because one thing I'm tired of hearing is that you can still get COVID-19 if you get the vaccine as an excuse for people not to get the vaccine. Yes, you can still get COVID-19 with the vaccine. However, the chances of you getting it are a lot more slim. So you definitely need to get the vaccine. In addition to getting the vaccine, you need to wear your mask. In addition to wearing your mask, you need to avoid large crowds. In addition to avoiding large crowds, you also need to social distance. And so it's just one of those things where this is one of the many feathers that you can put in your hat to protect yourself against COVID-19. Also, even with the people who are contracting COVID-19, who are vaccinated, those breakthrough cases, the people are not being hospitalized or dying at the same rates as people.
Right.
So we still need to make sure that we're really driving this message home that you need to get the vaccine. And one thing that I will say, I know we talked about the what was it a few weeks ago about the barbershops, trying to get people to get vaccinated in the barbershops. And I think it was a good idea. I know that my family has really banded together to encourage those of us who have not been vaccinated, or those of them who have not been vaccinated, to get the vaccine. And I've seen the effectiveness of that. So I'm still encouraging everyone to, as family members, urge and implore your family members to get vaccinated.
Absolutely, and to add on to that too as well, I've also came across some people who've been only taking one shot when they were supposed to take 2 shots. I've met a couple people who actually only took 1 shot and said they only want to take 1 shot. So people, if you are listening and watching, if you're going to get the vaccine, and it's not the Johnson & Johnson shot, because Johnson & Johnson is 1 shot done. If you're going to get the Pfizer or the Moderna, please take both shots as recommended. 1 shot is not going to help you. If anything, I think it's going to make more issues, to be honest with you.
You know, I agree 100%. Zach, I know you want to add in, jump in.
No, I was just going to agree with everything everyone said. That definitely, I think the numbers, I don't think the CDC is New York when there's, as far as the numbers, I think the numbers could be accurate. But I do think we need to continue to educate about the vaccine, especially in various communities, because I'm still doing it with my family. I was just on the phone with my sister today, and she told me that 3,000 and something new cases in Mississippi occurred just today. And I know that is one of the lowest vaccinated states in America. And so I want to encourage people to continue to still get vaccinated. As Darius said, wash your hands. But I do think people have gotten comfortable because they think that we've reached that herd immunity and thinking that, we have this many people vaccinated. And so the CDC said we can take off our masks. We can, restaurants are now opening. We're having concerts and festivals and shit like that. And so people have gotten comfortable, but it's still a pandemic going on out there. And I want us to be careful.
Frederick's statement, I believe that people should also stop taking advice from, and I'm going to say the street committee. If you're getting your medical advice from the streets, then that's where you're going to end up.
So I agree with you, CJ. I love that you have your Lysol there. I want to tell everyone about a brand new hand sanitizer that I have discovered. It's that Dr. Somebody's, they make that peppermint lotion, that peppermint.
Dr. Bonner.
Dr. Who? Yeah,
Dr. Bonner.
Dr. Bonner. You know, Dr. Bonner has a whole bunch of like mumbo jumbo, heebie-jeebie nonsense all over the bottle. But he has a hand sanitizer, or the company does, that it smells great. I know that soap burns.
But it's the best.
It burns. I'm not gonna say it burns the best. That stuff burns off all the bacteria on your body. So I know it's killing COVID-19 on contact. So definitely get that Dr. Bonner's hand sanitizer. Let me tell you the advantage of possibly not giving us the most updated numbers from the CDC. And I'm not saying that the CDC and the federal government is giving us lower numbers on purpose. I'm saying they're reporting data as it comes in from states that may give them lower numbers because of how they report things. We witnessed that right here in Georgia with failed Governor Brian Kemp, who is still here sitting somewhere on the back of his pickup truck, ready to pick up illegal immigrants, as he calls it, and shoot men who come and see his daughter, as he highlighted on his national commercials. That's why I'm saying I believe the numbers are low. I also believe that some people who may be having breakthrough cases may not be aware they're having breakthrough cases. If I have been vaccinated and I get a summer cold, I may think I have a summer cold. If I have been vaccinated and I get a scratchy throat, but that's the only symptom I get, I may just think that I had a scratchy throat. That's why I'm saying I really do believe that maybe we have more breakthrough cases than we are aware of. And that's from the fact that I have actually seen people who said they've got it. I do believe that the federal government at this point needs to make some very hard decisions about how to protect the citizens of this country. I have always believed in vaccine passports. I am not in favor of doing more talking. And let me make myself big to say this. I need y'all to see my face when I say this. And I'm gonna look at the comments in a minute, everybody. And let me tell you right here, I am not in favor of doing more begging and convincing people to get vaccinated outside of my own family and friend group, which I've already handled. I am not in favor of going to barbershops and begging people, please get vaccinated. I'm not trying to go and harass you in the nail salon or while you're trying to get your hair braided, or if you're down at the Hold Down, or if you're down at the evangelical church saying that all gays are going to hell like the little baby did this weekend. I'm not trying to do that to convince you to do what you need to do for your own health. But what I am trying to do is the federal government to protect me, someone who did what I'm supposed to do, who's taking care of my health and being concerned about the health of other people to stay safe. I want vaccine passports. If you are unvaccinated, you don't need to get on the plane with me. If you are unvaccinated, you don't need to eat in the restaurant beside me. If you are unvaccinated, you need to be mandated to wear a mask in public or not be allowed to be in public. And that's the bottom line. Right. I deserve to be protected from the idiocy that runs rampant in this country.
But do you not think they still need some education? Like, what's wrong with still educating people about it? I think we go educate about our politicians that we want people to vote for. Why not do the same for this? That people who are not well informed.
We've done that, Zach. We've done that.
Zach, not that cup.
She's talking to the others at his Chick-fil-A cup.
He's doing that on purpose because you know what? That's what I'm talking about. That's why education doesn't work. We have educated this man about the racism and homophobia of Chick-fil-A. But look at him now. He's sitting right there drinking it down. He is throwing it back.
That lemonade is good.
Chick-fil-A lemonade.
The lemonade tastes good.
It was a gift for my good buddy Darius. Thank you.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
The lemonade is great. The mango lemonade is good, by the way.
Did you see that Argosy in Atlanta, the restaurant Argosy in East Atlanta Village, they are requiring you to be vaccinated in order for you to dine in at their restaurant. So I saw a lot of people beating their chops on social media about whether or not they would be able to survive the pandemic, not letting anyone who's not been vaccinated in their restaurant.
Absolutely. I would also say New York has been doing it as well. Just so I know family and friends up there, that you have to bring your vaccinated card and actually for you to get into some establishments. Not all establishments, but some establishments, you have to show your actual vaccination record card to get in.
So do you think we should still be requiring people?
I want to see.
But this is my thing, Zach. Even if you require that, there's a market out there where people were actually selling fake vaccination cards.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we need the electronic vaccine passport that comes from the state vaccination system. That's
I agree with you. I agree with you on that 100%. I agree with you on that.
But do you think
if you're go ahead, Zach? I'm sorry.
Do you think the vaccine should be required to work?
If you work with the public.
Well, I think I'm willing to give. I am willing to give a break and say you have a choice. You either have a vaccination or you have to wear a mandatory mask. Either one. Now,
and you put them on a wing together. Put all them in a wing somewhere where they can all just share their COVID germs together.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think that, like I said, Savannah, they just passed it today? I want to say, or Augusta, they passed it today that masks are now mandated. Based, and the stores still have the option to say no mask or not. Do you think that we should have another mask mandate to prevent a provincial lockdown again? Even though I don't think we're ever going to lockdown because the country couldn't afford it, but what do you think? I think masks should be mandated.
Yeah, if you haven't been vaccinated, you ought to wear a mask. If you have been vaccinated, you do not have to wear your mask.
I think you should wear one regardless.
DeAndre,
I wear a mask in public. The only reason I am wearing a mask in public is because of all the people that are not vaccinated who are spreading COVID-19. But if everybody who was vaccinated was allowed to not wear a mask and those who are unvaccinated wore the mask, you would still slow the spread to where it's at a minimum level.
You would slow the spread down. Absolutely.
Or if you've had COVID-19, I'm even willing to say if you have contracted COVID-19 and tested positive in the last 6 months, even you may not be, even you may have a level of immunity that would make you not having to wear that mask. But other people who have not, they need to wear the mask.
DeAndre, you're being summoned. DeAndre, you're being a little quiet. Go ahead.
I think all that has been said. There's no point of extending this conversation any longer than it has been. What has been said.
DeAndre, you make a good point. So let's go ahead and give DeAndre a round of applause on his amazing weekend, right? DeAndre had a big weekend. Now, let me go ahead and make DeAndre big. He big anyway. This is a big man right here. This is a big Leo. So, number one, Dr. DeAndre Pickett is the founder, creator, and CEO of an amazing nonprofit organization called For Brighter Futures, right? For Bright Futures, correct? Is that the right name? Right. And they had this amazing awards gala this weekend. It was virtual. If you haven't seen it, you can go to his page and look at it. You can also go to pick Ed Speaks and look at it. You can go to his YouTube and look at it. It is so worth watching. It's inspiring. It's motivational. It is highlighting some of the best Black excellence that you're going to see. But in addition to that, he had a beautiful reception for his award winners and honorees on Thursday night. I heard rave reviews. It broke my heart not to be there. I was with my mom. Those, however, were great moments with her. I'm thankful that I had the chance to be there to support her as she heals, but I did regret missing it. But then on top of all of that, this man just had a birthday. Give him a round of applause. Happy birthday, Dr. Pickett. Another cast member on this live cast who's older than me. Now,
he's still 30 years younger than you.
Right, I'm older than him. Lies you tell, you demonic spirit of confusion.
Oh,
Zach is 50 years old, or damn near it.
with that being said,
disclaimer.
while we talk about all the red cups, let's talk about this red hat. And it's not the red hat of Trump, but it most certainly is the red hat of hate from the baby. This is the baby. This man had some pretty harsh and hateful things to say over the weekend. Gentlemen, who wants to start us off and talk about what the CJ, tell us about it.
I am definitely pulling a U tonight. He is canceled in my book 100%. There ain't no coming back. I am done. I mean, I really wasn't a fan of him to begin with. There are a couple of tracks he's featured on that I do like and I do F with, but I'm done. I'm done with him. Like, there's no coming back. He can't apologize. I don't care how many times he apologized. I'm just over it. He had a concert recently in the past few days, and he was pretty much, getting the crowd hype, getting the crowd to participate by throwing their phones up. In the midst of him saying, throw your phones up, he made a comment, if you do not have HIV, AIDS, or any STDs, knowing that you'll die in 3 to 4 weeks, throw your phones up. Then he went to say, if you are in the parking lot sucking, or you on the low soaking, then throw your hands up, because there's a lot of mother effers that are down low. And then he said, if there's no one that's special in the crowd, like saying special needs, throw your phones up. Someone threw a shoe at him. He also brought out Tory Lanez on stage with him, which he got a lot of slack for that as well. I think, as anybody knows, Tory Lanez has been canceled for quite some time for all the comments he has made towards artists, and then between the alleged shooting in the toe with Meg Thee Stallion. The baby then came on and made a comment today trying to retract his statement, saying that he loves his gay fans, and his gay fans know he did not mean nothing by it, and then said he had a gay fan in the front with a crop top, saying that none of his gay fans are junkies and they're classy, and they knew what he meant. They're not out here doing F-boy-ish. They keep it real classy and clean, and they're not junkies, is what he said. I can go on and on with everything. I can't. I'm just sick of him. I don't have nothing to say. I actually was really pissed off to see what he said. And then the fact that he said that people were going to die 3 to 4 weeks later from catching HIV, AIDS, and any STDs. I actually know people, who live with HIV, and they're living healthy, normal lives. Okay, and probably more healthier than the baby. So I don't have nothing else to say.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was painful to watch because I really liked the baby. I had liked it, the baby, and then the baby got up there saying all that stuff. But I wasn't offended about the stuff about in the parking lot what people be doing, because I'm one of them classy, former classy fans. I don't do stuff like that. However, the comments about people's status and this negative, just the stigma that's associated with STDs and other autoimmune diseases, it's just disgusting. And that type of rhetoric is the very reason why so many people are walking around positive for different STDs and don't even know it, because they're fearful to go and even get tested. And when you add to this stigma of clean versus dirty, or they got it, so they gonna die in 3 weeks. Like, it's just ignorant as hell, and it's just painful to watch, because I like CJ, know a lot of people who live very healthy lives, and you are more likely to lose your life for not going to get tested than you are for knowing your status. So I'm just always a proponent of everyone knowing their status, and also not allowing to shame you if you are living with HIV or other STDs, like, you know, do what you need to do to remain healthy, and just always love and value yourself, because of course there will be people who are ignorant, like the baby, who say negative things like this. And I hate it for everyone.
And Jocelyn, you're finally going to get me to talk, because I agree with both Darius and both CJ, but this is what's going to happen, because all of us on this platform and all of us who watch this, the unfortunate situation about it is the people, quote unquote, like us, is not what's going to be the thing that actually cancels him, or actually is going to be the thing that shuts him down. What's going to happen is his colleagues and the people that he operate with and the people that he roll with are going to have to stand up and say, they're going to have to shut him down, because of the fact that, unfortunately, there are still people, I hate to say this, but there are still people like him that we know that may not, you know, that are in certain circles that think like that. And so because they think like that, they don't see anything wrong with those comments. And so what's going to happen is we're going to have to see people like the TI, and see people like these other popular, like the little baby, who ultimately recognizes, you know, who shares the name, like these other artists and these other female artists. Because he also talked about females as well. So we're going to take these female rappers. It's going to take these other artists to come out and say, listen, we're shutting this down. If they don't come out and say about this, then what happens is they're just as complacent, and they're just in the wrong for not standing up as well.
Can you talk about what T.I. said in defense of his comments?
And keep talking. I got to pull it up. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, T.I. was very T.I. was in support of what the baby had to say. T.I. felt like if Lil Nas X can get up there, he said that, and I'm paraphrasing, if Lil Nas X got up and said, all my gay brothers in the house, put your phone in the air, then everyone would have been like, fine with that. That's okay. He said, if homosexuals have more rights than heterosexuals, then just say that. And it was a false equivalence that he made, you know, just saying like the baby was just specifically targeting the heterosexual people in the room when he said, if you're not, you know, giving fellatio to other males out in the parking lot, then put your hands in the air. And I thought that was a false equivalence, because what he did was demean the people who may be engaging in homosexual activity. And I feel like T.I. is just another person. Don't you got federal indictment, or don't you have some?
Right, T.I. is stupid as hell. I want to cuss about it. T.I. is so stupid for making that comment. First of all, if Lil Nas X said everyone gay, throw their hands up, that's totally different. The baby literally said that you're going to die in 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
Like, come on now. And then you went to make more comments. Like, first of all, you made an uneducated comment, for one. If you're going to say it, say the correct thing. Second of all, you're making a statement that's not even true. And then you're sitting here for T.I. to even try to use that analogy, that's a bad analogy. I'm sorry.
And this is T.I.'s comment. He said, if you're going to have the Lil Nas X video and have him living his truth, you're going to damn sure have people like people like the baby who's going to speak their truth. He said, ain't nothing wrong with none of it. It ain't got to be no hate. It's all honesty. Everybody living in their truth.
Ciao. It's just ignorant. I think that I lost a few brain cells today, even trying to just wrap my mind around it. I think that I felt myself becoming increasingly unintelligent, just trying to wrap my mind around it. So I think that I think the baby is somebody that we can easily just be like, you know, sir, you've reached the end of the road for me. You're fired. You're on mute, Zach.
So Jocelyn said that T.I. super around his own front door.
Recently have some people come forth and say that they were implicated in the whole T.I. and Tiny thing as well.
Correct.
But isn't he like the mayor of Atlanta?
We don't have a mayor
Atlanta.
right now. According to ATL Scoop, we don't have a mayor right now.
Oh, I thought he was like known as one of the gods of Atlanta.
Let's be very clear. The 60th
I don't know. I don't
mayor
live there. I'm just
60th mayor of
asking a
Atlanta is still Keisha Lance Bottoms.
I'm just asking a question that the people.
Why don't you go ahead and drink your Chick-fil-A? Kennedy said that T.I.
Take a sip for me while you're at it, Zach.
Annette said that T.I. has comprehension issues. Candy came back. Now even considering people have buried their children from disease, causing them to drink all over again. All of it was absolutely ignorant and absolutely misplaced. And when we talk about, but and again, we talk about what he calls nasty, or what he identifies as nasty behavior. I do want to know from you guys, is this nasty? Oh, that's the wrong one. I mean, that is nasty. But is that nasty?
I love it.
First of all,
I enjoyed it.
I did too. People were acting like he was dancing in the nude, and it's just nude colored underwear.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
Again, I just hate.
I need you to tell me why you love it. Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with it.
Guess what? I want to go on record. I am Zachary Kirk. I want to say I didn't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. And I'll talk about it, but I want to hear.
You don't like nothing Lil Nas X does, and you made that very clear. So, I mean, why would we expect for you to like it?
I think for me, it's art, and so I think he's making art out of his shit. And so from the shoe thing, he was on trial and he made art from there. I think it's art. I'm enjoying it that you're living in your truth.
Right.
And many times we've seen women, straights, and others do it, and there was no issue.
Thank you. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, love them to death, but they be doing their videos all sexual, WAP, and everything else. And he's out here expressing himself creatively. Let him express himself. What is wrong with it?
I want to know this. Give me one male artist, black, white, or otherwise. I want to know a male artist who has done this in a video.
D'Angelo
was naked in the How Do I Feel video. He was naked from head to toe.
But it doesn't matter, because then we go into gender identity and like saying, okay, what's okay for females versus what's okay for males. But here's what
come on, Darius.
I think a lot of people miss the bigger message, because going back to the baby, I think that if you look at the prelude to the video, he talked about being put into gay jail, because at the end of the day, that's what it was about. At the end of the day, when you're homosexual, people automatically try to put you in a jail. They try to put you in the HIV jail. They try to put you in the sucking penises in the parking lot jail. They try to put you in the the Antichrist jail. And so I think that this was his effort of bringing that jail to life and showing you what this jail can look like. You cannot imprison me. I'm going to break out of this jail. I'm going to create a way for me to leave this jail victoriously. And as a result, it also was a fundraiser for the bail fund, because he understands what it means for people to lose their family members to the prison system. And so I think this is a beautifully done thing. I think that Lil Nas X is a genius. He's brilliant. We will look back on these videos the same way we look back on Lady Gaga, the same way we look back on Nicki Minaj, and say, damn, he was well ahead of his time. So and I'm going to say it's a generational thing, but I know that CJ and Zach are so close in age. So I'm glad to know that, you two are on opposite ends of the spectrum on this.
Well, I will say this. I hope you make it to this age. Thank you.
I do. Without being in one of those jails.
And someone said that D'Angelo did it and it was tasteful. Yes, D'Angelo did do it. It was very tasteful. However, he was still fully naked. Okay. And he was talking about making it.
What makes it not tasteful? What Lil Nas X did.
That's what I'm saying. We can't say what makes
taste is subjective.
Taste is subjective. What I'm saying is, though, like, you can't. What we were saying was that it has been done before, where people have done videos in the nude or whatever the case may be, and it was accepted. Janet Jackson had a whole album cover with her arms up with someone holding her damn breast.
I said men. I didn't say women.
Well, it don't matter. I mean, men, women.
That's problematic. But who cares? Because either you're gonna like the boy or you're not. Like, it's not like he's, half people aren't rooting for him anyway. That was his whole point. Y'all not rooting for me. If you don't like my art, I'm not making my art for you, and that's just what it is.
Let the man be creative. He's a creative, talented man, and let him. If that's how he expresses himself, and he wants to express himself, let him do that. There's nothing wrong with it. We know in Dr. Zachary Kurt's eye, it's a no for you. But
let me give you some context. That number one, I don't think that he's a genius, because I don't think these are his creative ideas. I don't think that he's the one doing this work. He has a brilliant.
How you gonna say that? You don't know.
You know him personally?
Did I preface it? What did I say? Why don't you repeat my words? I'll give you the playback, Zach.
I don't think.
I don't think. In the playback, Zach, what you will realize is that I said I think multiple times before I was.
You said I don't think.
By you.
I don't think.
Well, when I finish my statement, you can express what you don't think with to the.
No, you said that. Go ahead, finish.
I don't think that Lil Nas X created any of these concepts, nor do I think he's brilliant. I think that he has a brilliant team. I think he has an amazing publicist, he has an amazing agent, and he has an amazing record label pushing him forward to build a career. And I am happy to see his career advance. I am. But my personal belief is that an artist's work should be what speaks for them, what they stand on, not shock value and not controversial things to gain attention. That is what I believe. And I have never ran behind and supported artists who did that. That goes for the beginning of Lady Gaga's career. I wasn't a fan of Lady Gaga in the middle with her wearing meat dresses and all that nonsense. That's not something I ran behind. She had to grow as an artist, and she did, and she's earned a level of respect. I hope that Lil Nas X, when he finally releases an album, will give me something that I can stand behind, that I can respect, because I do want to see him succeed, but I purposely listened to the song first before watching the video, and I thought to myself, yes, there are some lyrics here that are solid, but overall, this doesn't impress me. There has been no piece of artistry from this man that has impressed me. Everything has been about attention, and it's been about shock value. If you are a musician, the music should speak for itself, and when it comes to Lil Nas X, that's not what I've witnessed. My opinion, Zach.
Well, I think he's an artist, and I think that he's expressed himself artistically. I think that there are places that you can go and get a breakdown of the video of the lyrics if you'd like to, and I think it was masterfully done. He made a lot of references in the video that you probably wouldn't understand unless you've been following his career. But I just hate when people try to diminish someone's art. I feel like he did a really good job of conveying the message that he sought to convey. Either you're gonna like it or you don't.
And I don't like it.
Okay, then. Well, you just don't damn like
it. It's so good. He don't get paid off of your opinion. That's good.
You don't like it, so what? You gonna go back and forth?
You're correct. Not only does Lil Nas X not get paid from my opinion or from my streams, neither does this artist who I once supported but will never listen to again, the one and only Kanye West, who's a Gemini, Zach, just like you. This past weekend in the city of Atlanta, Kanye West held a listening party where this man walked out on stage looking just like this. He had his face fully covered. He stood in the center of Mercedes-Benz Arena and let the music play, half-done songs, incomplete melodies and lyrics, and that's what he did. There were a lot of people that expected a concert. They didn't get that. There were a lot of people who people had a lot of expectations, but what they got was this. Gentlemen, I want to know what you think about Kanye West and this display of artistry from him.
So for me, I am so confused. Like, our community is so quick to cancel people. And like, we had a Chrisette Michelle. We canceled her for singing at Trump something inauguration. But yet this man has hugged, shaking hands, and he filling out arenas. But yet he's not canceled? I'm confused.
Zach, here's the thing. I mean, I think that we've heard that conversation like this has been beat into the ground. And I will continue to say, I think there is a level of misogyny and a level of, just gender, just inequality that goes into that. But Chrisette Michelle simply did not have the size following that Kanye had when that happened. And Kanye's fans are loyal to a fault. They don't care. That man can walk out. He can do everything that Lil Nas just did. He can do all that. Actually, he was one of the producers of this song that Lil Nas did. His followers are not going against him for anything. And I don't think that has anything to do with I don't think that has anything to do with gender. I just think that has to do with him having a cult following.
Let's honestly call it what it is. We are a fickle people. We are a fickle people.
I don't think that his fans
we're a fickle people, and we pick and choose what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. I hate to say this, but we pick and choose what's acceptable and not acceptable. We just had a conversation 2 seconds ago about what's acceptable and not acceptable. We're a choice. We're about what we think is and isn't. He has done multiple things.
He has.
Should have had him put aside. but because he's Kanye, because he has this, because what we start doing is we start making up excuses for people, or we start putting in areas of explanation when it's clear as day. We shouldn't have to explain this. We shouldn't have to explain misogyny. We should have to explain idiosyncrasies. We should have to explain idiots. We, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And we're unfortunately, we are a fickle people. We choose what we choose. We like what we like. We cancel what we're going to cancel. We choose, we love what we want to love. And that's just where it is. And so I don't want us to keep trying to find ways to make excuses for it, because at the end of the day, it just is what it is. We as a people are fickle, and it's okay. We have to accept that about ourselves, that we're fickle people, and we're going to sway with whatever situation or whatever circumstance that we like. And that's just the way it is. And I can't sit back and just let us keep allowing us escapes to not say that we're not fickle people. And it's okay. We accept it about ourselves, but we have to be okay with calling it what it is.
I think that it's okay to say that we're fickle people, but I think that Kanye's people are the most solid people that you're ever going to meet. They are solid on Kanye. Kanye can do what he wants to do. He is going to retain the same following that he has always had. You can use someone else as an example, but Kanye is not a good example in this instance. And they're not trying to.
And that's sad.
They're not trying to explain anything. They're not giving you an excuse for why they still support Kanye. They support Kanye because that's what they want to do.
I'm not talking about Kanye. I'm talking about us. Like, we know what it is. Like, I don't want us to say it's the Kanye people. No, we're just fickle people. Those Kanye fans are a part of the fickle people, because those same Kanye fans are probably some of the same people that may or may not have some issues about Lil Nas X or about the baby or this and this. So it's just, at the end of the day, I think what we do is we give too many outs for people. We give too many opportunities for people to, because I'm the first who's been on here who've talked about reconciliation and finding ways. But again, as we have said all in all on this discussion, we can educate, we can put it out there. But at the end of the day, stupidity and ignorance is just what it is. And we can't fight against it. And this man has found multiple ways. I don't care how creative and all that jazz. Because we start talking about his, you're gonna start about if you're gonna stifle Lil Nas X's creativity, then you need to turn around and shut this man up too, if you're gonna do it.
And I'm 100% for stifling. I'm not trying to stifle Nas X's creativity. I'm trying to enhance his musicality. But in regards to Kanye West, no, I can't support him and will not be able to support him. And again, that's an individual choice. But no, you can't. Kanye West can't come back for the things that he's done to damage the Black community in my eyes.
And said Black people, the whole slavery. Like, I don't get it.
Slavery was a choice. Slavery is a choice.
It was a choice.
But Zach, I was too busy recognizing and educating the best and the brightest in Atlanta during this exact time. So I really didn't care about what was going on, because we were doing some amazing things on 135 Auburn Avenue.
Oh, that was cute.
And you were not to be bothered.
135 Auburn Avenue. When I left, I went to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, child.
And again,
so you went.
One person said Kanye is still there. It is
I
rumored
would've been
that
there if I
Kanye
could've.
West is currently living in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
CJ, you said you would have been there if you would have been there.
If I could have, yeah, I wasn't here.
And Darius, you were there.
I was there, baby.
I was celebrating my mother's 60th birthday, so no.
No, I did not. I did not buy a ticket. I would not buy a ticket for anything from Kanye, but I was gifted a ticket, and so I just went and I did my Bernie Sanders at the inauguration just to see what I could see.
Well, many people, Darius, said that many people received tickets, that nobody really bought tickets. They couldn't even give enough away. So how was the experience for you?
It was interesting to see how excited people were to see Kanye walk around the floor. I just had to see it for myself. I know, and the other thing, the tickets were $20 to $50. So if anybody said that they were going expecting a concert, they were simply lying. But I would have never, like I told my mom on the way, because I left DeAndre's event and headed over to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And then I was able to meet DeAndre out afterwards. But anyway, it was crazy to see how it's
all the business. Wait a minute, hold on.
Yes, I hope they had their mask on. Did they have a mask on?
Child. I definitely had my Bernie Sanders child with my jacket and everything. With my earmuffs and my gloves on. But no, it was interesting just to see the cult. I was just very curious to see, and there were a lot of white people there as well. Kanye has a very diverse following, of course, because of what what he gives in terms of his music and his choices that he makes. But I also think that it's important to note that Kanye he needs some help, y'all. That man is still in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He was at the Atlanta United game with the same outfit on that he had on at his concert. And he says he's staying there until he finishes his album.
Wait, he's in there right now.
He's in there right now, child.
He's in his creative space.
Call Keisha.
Keisha love rubbing elbows with people like that. That's Keisha's folks.
But call Keisha. Go call Keisha, Zach. Go call Keisha.
Also,
Shirley would have been got him out of there.
They say he is still there. They said that he.
Nah, Kasim will go get him.
No,
call Shirley. She would have been got him out of there.
Kasim would be right there with him.
Kasim will go get him. No, send Abel Mabel and her friend that she talked about on Thursday night to go get him.
No, I'm really about to die.
What is going on with Zach? He felt something.
That is the mother. That's like the mother. Oh, he's frozen.
Through the entire building at him.
Yeah, tired. It
was good to me.
Yeah, so we have it on videotape if anybody wants it.
Is he frozen or is he foolish?
He's frozen.
He's frozen.
Oh, okay.
And so,
that's a great pose, though.
That is. Someone needs to get that.
I need that photo.
Try to get the screenshot for us. Damn.
God don't like ugly.
Too.
God don't like ugly because y'all were talking. People in the comments were talking about the lovely and amazing Dr. Donda West, and God just said, I'm gonna take him out of there. Come on.
And you were like this, like you were already ready.
I didn't realize she was a professor at Morris Brown for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Correct. And so, you know what, though? Many people, when you talk about and you say that, the community is fickle, DeAndre, I think that speaks to Americans in general because today the approval ratings for President Joe Biden came out and people say the approval ratings, let me pull it up. Hold on. Bear with me. The approval ratings showed that President Biden actually had a slight drop. He went from a 56% approval rate down to about a 53% average across the board. His approval rating is dropping. It was as low as 48% according to some polls.
Right.
Guys, do you agree that President Biden's job approval rating is, should it be declining at this rate? And if so, what are some things that he could possibly do to appease the fickle American public?
He earned it. I don't think that people are fickle. He earned it. There are simply too many things that he promised that he would do when he was on the campaign trail. I know that, like I've said time and time again, it takes more than just him to make things happen. And also it takes time to make things happen.
Right.
And at the end of the day, people don't want to hear that. They want you to make good on the promises that you made. Specifically, loan forgiveness needs to be
yes.
He really ran on universal loan forgiveness, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm no longer considering it. I think it's outside of my power. Number two, we ran Trump through the ringer about COVID-19, and now we're seeing that COVID is back on the rise. Of course, there are a lot of measures in place, but the Delta variant is really a concern for a lot of citizens of America. Also, I think that he's playing too hard. He's playing too strategically to play nice with the Republicans in an effort to unify the United States of America when the people who voted for him want him to represent the people who voted for him. And so approval rating is going to be what the approval rating is. And either he's going to care enough about what the approval rating is to make those changes, or he's going to say that this is a temporary drop in the approval rating with a long-term goal of achieving the things that he wants to achieve.
Well, I just think it's been 7 months. Like, how can you fix in 7 months that happened over 4 years from twice impeached, one-term clown president that we had? And so it takes time. Like, everything is not going to happen overnight. This is a journey. And so I think he's preparing things and putting things in place and putting people in place that will have the benefits of making these changes that he talked about on the trail. Like, everything is not going to happen within the first 7 months. I think we got to wake up and understand that.
And I also find it interesting that we finally now have standards 4 years and 7 months later, because of the fact that we didn't hold standards.
Come on.
4 years ago because we gave a pass. Again, we gave this pass because here's the thing. First and foremost, let's be very clear. If you look statistically on how how presidential ratings go, he is pretty much in standard of where a president should or should be, especially in 7 months. And when you statistically look at the ratings of a president, he's actually still a little higher than many presidents would probably be in their first term, especially coming off of what he came off of. You have to understand, when President Obama first came into his presidency, he literally had to go into a crisis on, right now, President Obama's situation was the financial crisis. He had to deal with the auto industry. He had to deal with a full breakdown. And so he had to build it. His approval rating was not that high until they started fully seeing the results about a year in. Joe Biden, what he's coming into is dealing with a health crisis. Now, this variant, yes, it's understandable. But what you have to understand is, yes, he has these, the Delta variant is going up, but you cannot blame that whole thing on him when the people aren't doing. They are making every effort possible to make sure that the people are getting what they need to have. It'd be different if they were sitting on their feet. Now, the question I do have is who were the people that are polling? Because we also know that President Biden has not been appealing heavily to the progressive movement. So the question is his approval rating because of the fact that he is not appealing to a progressive group of people? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, he has still been doing many things that he said he's going to do, and he still has 3 more years to do these other things that he said he was going to do. So how are you expecting him to take all these campaign promises in 7 months and do a work? So he still is doing these things. So is he not moving to the magnitude of the progressive movement?
90% of people that identify as Democrats or supporting Democratic policies approve of President Biden's performance. 90% in the Gallup poll. 12% of people that identify as Republicans approve of his jobs work. But it is those numbers have been pretty consistent from the last poll that was taken in the first quarter. It is a drop among the independents. President Biden dropped down to a 48% approval rating among people who identify as independents. That's the group of people who are finding the greatest amount of dissatisfaction with President Biden in this movement. I personally agree with Zach and DeAndre to a certain extent. I think number one, Zach is right when he says, and look, I'll make myself big, I'll say I agree with Zach in the fact that it's only been 7 months, and when you look at all the things that President Biden has been able to achieve in 7 months, I think that is impressive. But what I do not like, Zach, is this. I do not like some of his rhetoric and his language around bipartisanship that is, to me, alienating the people that voted for him and the people that are waiting for real change. We understand that change takes time, but it also takes you using the bully pulpit of the president to push that change forward, and that's not what he's doing. You can't play nice with Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema every single day of your life. You can't pretend like Mitch McConnell and the Republicans are not going to continuously derail and subvert the work that we see in this country. Bipartisanship is a dream that isn't going to happen as long as Mitch McConnell is the minority leader, and the Republicans are digging in their heels, hoping for a resurgence of twice impeached Florida retiree Donald J. Trump.
Is he the president for the people who voted for him, or he's the president of all people? Like, we gotta understand that. Like, you can't just be the president for the people who voted for you.
But you also can't say that. You can't say things to get people to vote for you and then not deliver promises. And that was that first.
That's politics. That's politics. That's politics 101.
I don't give a shit. Like, we don't care about politics in this generation. And so just say that. So say I'm a care about politics.
No. How can you say that? How can you say that? No.
Let me finish my statement. Yeah. So say that. So say you're a politician. You don't care about your approval rating. Just say that. But don't expect to have a high approval rating if you're not making good on your promises.
Okay.
Back to Zach's point, two things. Zach, I wanted to point out that you also agree with me since you didn't point that out. And number 3, I had a question for DeAndre. DeAndre, you said that it's amazing how we all of a sudden have standards. That is what is perplexing me. What is it that denoted that we did not have standards before?
No, I'm saying we did not hold the current president or the former president to the same standard for 4 years.
Huh?
We did not.
Have we not been saying F Donald Trump since the day he was inaugurated?
But we have not held him to a standard. Now all of a sudden we have not been. No, you might have been holding him to a standard, but we as a people have not held him to a standard. So you are one person, but we have not had these standards, and now all of a sudden it's becoming a thing. Well, he didn't do this, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do. But every time we turned around, it was we're going to, we were more concerned about impeachments because this happened. We were more concerned about this because this didn't happen. There was not a standard. This man literally took the White House and made it whatever it was. And then when President Biden came in, now all of a sudden we have we need to make sure that
there's a very painstakingly clear difference, DeAndre. The difference is we knew that we didn't want Trump for his politics on the day he was inaugurated. So who's going to be sitting here?
We don't get to choose that because he is the president of everybody.
But we already knew we weren't going to like what he was doing.
But there still is a standard of the presidency of the United States of America. I don't care if he's for us or not for us. There is still a standard of the presidency of the United States of America. But to add to my statement I was about to make as pertains to this whole concept of us and this politics, let's also be very clear. Even these individuals, I hate to say this, but people who run make promises because they know that's what's happening. The people who are running right now, these same individuals that we call progressive leaders, everything else, they made promises. Progressive leaders. And guess what? They're not doing shit.
Of course. They're
doing nothing. So no.
But
let's be very clear. But do we hold them to the same standard? And the individuals who are running now, who we're saying is going to be this for this people or for this for that people, but yet we're still donating to their campaigns, we're still holding fundraisers for them, we're still doing all these things for them, but yet do we still hold their feet to the fire? Do we still say, listen, don't make don't make promises. Listen, literally talk about the issues at hand. You can't make, because there's a lot of us who make, hell, I ran twice and made promises. It's just what happens. So we can't necessarily say that politicians aren't going to make promises. That's what they do. You do what you can to get elected. Unfortunately, some people do a pissy job with making sure that at the end of the day, they do what they need to do when they get in office.
Oh, Lord.
So
everyone, my name is Zachary. Everyone, my name is Dr. Zachary Kirk, and I am going to run for office in about 20 years. And I'm going to make promises, but I will make promises that I will keep. Promises made, promises kept. We will have been built back better by then, and I'll maintain it and take it to the next level. That's what I'm going to do.
You want to make the promise. You won't stop lying.
And in 20 years,
now,
20 years,
some
you'll be
people
damn near
just told
90.
you they make promises and they may not keep them, but that's not what I'm going to do. Stay strong and donate in 20 years.
You'll be 90.
And he'll have a 90% approval rating too.
Will he?
If he keeps his promises.
He won't remember him.
We can't even get Zach to stop lying about being the youngest person on here. That's a lie, and
I never said that. I never said I was younger than DeAndre. I never said I was younger.
You just said.
You just said at the beginning of the show.
I never said I was young. Stop confusing my words.
You have a bad case of amnesia. You have a bad case of amnesia.
You said it at the beginning of the show.
I meant Darius.
No, you can't say you meant Darius if you said my name.
Your name starts with a D. You got two Zachs.
But you did not correct it. So you're staying until you corrected it. You said I'm still young, and you're still younger because you're talking about my birthday, and you said and you're still younger than me. You said those exact words.
I was younger than Darius. You can look at him and see that he is clearly younger than all of us here. But you can also look at me and see I'm younger than all of us here except for Darius. Now, with that being said,
anybody can go buy some dye. That's fine though.
That part.
I like a little dye too, baby.
I have never in my life dyed my hair. Not
Listen,
one time.
I am clearly losing mine. So listen, I will buy dye in a
I
minute.
have
So
never dyed
I'm
my
okay
hair.
with
Well, I
mine.
don't have none to lose, so
I
I
have
am clearly
never
losing
dyed
mine.
my hair in my life.
I dye mine once.
Never. Because my natural
Here's
hair
you said
color
when?
is a foundational
Once a
piece of
quarter.
my family history, and I can't get it in dye. So it's
this is
my
all
hair
natural
never
black,
been-
no
my
dye
hair-
added here. Thank
The
you.
hair on my head has never been dyed.
This has never been
Okay.
dyed either, just so you know.
But I will
So
say,
I'm not talking about my face. I said
but
the
I will,
hair on my head.
but
Well,
there,
I'm
but
talking
Zach,
about
I will
the
say,
hair on my face. That's the only hair I have, and this has never been dyed.
but needless to say that we may be older, we may be dyeing our hair and everything, but we are 5 strong black men. So how about that at the end of the day?
And speaking of 5 strong black men, Darius, tell us about the Black history. Okay, anybody can talk to us about our Black history.
I had somebody too. Dang. Hey, Chris. I had somebody. What something happened recently? Come on, DeAndre.
So Bob Moses did pass away.
Yes, that's what it was.
Bob Moses.
Take it away, DeAndre.
So Bob Moses, out of Mississippi, he actually passed away. Was literally a civil rights giant in Mississippi. And one of the things that we don't do enough of, we actually had quite a few pass away this year. But he literally stood in the face of adversity, fighting for those in the state of Mississippi, and he really was a giant. So much so that he literally was part of the work that Dr. King was doing, and at one point in time had his car shot at as he was trying to get people out to vote. And so this man literally has continued, was a beacon of hope and inspiration for people of Mississippi. And so we speak his name, and we pray for his family, and those who and all of those who were impacted by his witness and by his life. And so we're grateful for him.
Thank you, Dr. Pickett.
Teammate makes the dream work. Yes, he does.
Yeah, teamwork does indeed make the dream work. Gentlemen, we are at the end of tonight's broadcast. Of course, we do continue this. We do continue this on Instagram Live. So you can look at our IG accounts. You can come to my IG, the Zacchaeus, where we will continue, and we'll talk about some additional topics. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Lil Nas X and Kanye West. We're going to talk a little bit more about whether or not you should be allowed to work if you have not gotten the vaccine. We're going to also talk about Jeff Bezos and the fact that he gave $100 million to Van Jones. And we're going to talk about some progressive politics and how money is flowing into a major race in Ohio and what that could mean and represent for the nature of democratic politics in our country. So, this cup, absolutely. And I'm glad you love us. Please check us out. Gentlemen, who's coming over to the IG Live? Who we got joining tonight?
I come.
I'm with the stuffs. Hey,
I love you all. I did tonight. I am actually still on vacation.
He in Disney. We see Mickey.
Yeah, Imani, we're going to talk about Issa Rae on the after show on IG Live. It's a little bit, the after show gets to be late night. Things get to be a little bit more, the topics are a little bit more lighthearted on the after show. So check us out if you guys can. We'll see you shortly. Join us on Instagram Live. See you soon.
Love you, mama.
Bye, Miss Williams. Bye, Miss Fair.